Don't not be Thibodeau. And here it comes, it's about to come in. Oh my God! They didn't. They took Sauce Gardner. Oh my God, they don't want an edge. Maybe he likes Jermaine Johnson at 10. Then we're not going to get a wide receiver?
Garrett Wilson, wide receiver. Oh my God, no edge.
Was sitting there.
The Jets traded up. The Jets traded up. Are we taking JJ? Are we taking JJ? Because I know Braden is in New Zealand saying, we should get Yuli, Mike. He's definitely saying that. JJ! We got Johnson! We got Johnson at 26! We got Johnson at 26! This is great! Yes! They took Roger McCreary, they didn't take Dean, and we traded up. We can get Jacoby Dean. We can get Jacoby Dean. It really is. They took Breece Hall. They took Breece Hall. Wow. I mean, look, I love Breece Hall. But there's also Jeremy Ruckert, who I think is the best tight end in the class personally. They took Jeremy Ruckert. They took Jeremy Ruckert. Yes! We got a Jeremy. We got a Jeremy. Oh, and the Jets pick, and it's Max Mitchell, offensive tackle. We needed that. That's wow. We took Michael Clemens. I never heard of him. A defensive edge. Huzzah! What's up, everybody? How's it going? How we doing? This is a weird Thursday night edition of the show, because it's Green Bean's birthday, and Green Bean wasn't going to go on very long, and we always need spots to do things. You know, there's so much content that we want to spit out, and one of the things we want to spit out is we got this gem, this diamond in the rough named Dom C, who is amazing at breaking down tape. He will literally look at every play of a game that he's watching. He'll just take a game and he'll watch dozens of plays. He'll get a feel for, good plays and bad plays for a team or a player, whatever he's looking for specifically. He's willing to take the time to watch tons of plays and look for examples, like of if he's doing a certain player, like Mike White. He'll look at dozens of plays from Mike White, and he'll determine good plays, very excellent plays, good plays that need improvement, that need growth, and then he'll put together a sample of each one and give us a really good understanding or view of the player. So we are really lucky to have that. I am specifically super, super lucky that Dom C, for whatever reason, is willing to be on my channel and do all this. So, and obviously that reflects and that, onto this community of Jet fans. He loves all you guys, and he loves doing it, and he loves having these hangouts and discussions. So that's why we get to do it. And Dom C is going to be with us. I'm going to say hello to some people. We're going to get Dom C in here, and we're going to go right to the tape. Understand that we're probably not going to interact as much with the chat, although you are free to interact with each other. Once the film study begins, it's more of letting Dom do his thing. I might check the chat and see if there are questions that I can ask. If anybody's asking questions about what you're seeing, I'll try to get those questions into Dom so he can answer them. And then, of course, when we're done, we'll answer questions afterwards, after we show the tape. So just know this is a different kind of show. It's a little bit, there's a lot less wackiness and more just, to me, it's an education. Like, no matter what player we're looking at, it's not just, after this, we'll understand Goff more. To me, it's more about I become better at evaluating quarterbacks as personally from the time I'm spending with Dom C. I become more knowledgeable, and I'm watching the game. I watch it in a different way. It's frustrating because you don't have the all-22 during the game. But I find myself telling people to calm down a lot because we can't see the all-22. Because the all-22 will usually, after the game, when you watch film, you'll start realizing that there was no way for you to know certain things. For example, when a quarterback checks down, a lot of people will say, I saw somebody wide open, and most of the time that's a lie. It's just they're lying because they don't like the quarterback. Or it's not a lie, it's a misperception because they're seeing the guy after the play or after the quarterback has already started to throw and the defenders come off of the guy. Or they don't see a safety that's taking over and really going to cover the guy. There's a lot of things you don't see without the all 22. So when someone says, oh, this person was wide open, sometimes it's true and sometimes it's really not true. But the bottom line is we get to, as with this tape and with the all 22, one of the great things that is that we don't have to rely on other people. We can actually look and see for ourselves what's really going on. So that's how I've changed. I don't judge quarterbacks as quickly. I wait until I can see the all 22. If I really am curious about whether a player is messing up or not, or how good or bad a player is. Like someone's, was saying McGovern was having a bad game in pass defense. Well, you know what? If I really want to know, rather than argue and make things up in my head about what I want to be true or not to be true, I could go back and watch the Jet game on all 22, and I could watch specifically McGovern on every play. There's one angle that shows, you get two angles of it, but one where you could really focus in and just watch them. And, and the more you know, the more you're able to judge what they're doing. But even a novice can see sometimes, is he taking out his guy? Right? I mean, when he's going up one-on-one with somebody on a running play, if he's getting pushed backwards and the defender's able to clog the hole and they're pushing him into the hole that they're clogging, that's usually a bad thing, because what you want to see is your offensive line manhandling the defensive linemen and shifting them in the right position for, to create the hole for your running back. So, and you get better and better at seeing stuff like that. Anyway, I'm just killing time right now because we're waiting for Dom to say. But what I'll do is I will oh my wife is driving me crazy. Oh, she's ordering now. Good. Okay. She's ordering food for me now, guys. Have no fear, food is on the way. So Joseph Seppi came in hours and hours ago and said Mike White is greater than the world. Okay. Just mess. He says snacks. Tony Alexia is here, and he didn't use the word dum-dum, which is new. I don't know what he's saying. I thought that I think it's funny when someone uses SOS, because I wonder if the younger generation even knows what it means. Because you're literally saying, save our ship. Twisted. Once again, that's time to introduce the man of the... Oh, okay. So thanks. He likes to try to time it, right, as the numbers go down to say chaos. But then I pulled a fast one on him and I played a promo video. But thank you for the intro. I appreciate it. And guys, so Twisted's here. Grandizer is here. He's our local Miami fan who does a lot of helpful things for the channel. I appreciate him. He's the pretty much the producer of the channel. Harlan Abraham is here. What's up, my brother? Good to see you. So we got some people coming in, but most importantly, we got the real man of the hour coming in, and that is Dom C. What's going on, brother?
Chaos. What's up, my dude? Hey, Chad. How are you?
I'm excited. I've been looking forward to this all night, all day, all night.
Oh, yeah, man. It was impromptu, but much appreciated by me to you. The courtesy, your courtesy to get me on your show and give me the platform to kind of do what I do, man.
No, anytime, man. I learned, like I said, and I was telling everybody, that's, I'm learning so much this year thanks to you. So it's like I'm becoming more and more knowledgeable, and it's changing the way I watch football games.
Oh, that's good, man. That's good. Yeah. So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about Sunday? Right, on a very high level brief.
I like this kind of matchup for us. And that's why I thought we should have and we could have beat Minnesota. I like matchups right now, the way our team is built, to go against teams that have very bad defenses and are known to be more offensively strong, because I believe our defense can overcome that after stopping Josh Allen and containing him twice now, and really containing him and showing that our defense is for real. I don't get scared anymore of teams with good offenses. I feel like our defense could really, always keep us in the game. And then it's our offense that when we play teams like Green Bay, Denver, or Buffalo, where I'm like, oh God, here we go. It's going to be one of those dirty, ugly games where it's 1, 2, 3 and out a million times, lots of punts. So to me, the matchup is good. We hold Detroit, we contain them. Our defense. To me, a great defense beats a great offense, and then hopefully, our offense going against defenses like Detroit will be able to control the ball, control the line of scrimmage. Bam Knight and Michael Carter can just run the ball all day, and just eat up lots and lots of minutes.
Yeah.
And we just win the game. So I like the matchup. I think we win 31 to like 17, 31 to 16, something like that.
I could see a score like that. I think, and again, I always seem as we lead up to the game, the later it gets in the week, the kind of more nerves that I get, so on and so forth. So, especially getting a little bit more into Detroit's film as I have this week. I saw a lot of things. I'll say one thing. Their offensive line is very good. They have a very good offensive line. And for as much hoopla and bad as their defense has been overall in regards to total yards and points allowed, so on and so forth, they have done a really, really good job against some of the premier running backs in the league. Let me see if I can pull the stat up real quick for the Detroit Lions. Bear with me one second. Like, I know that I think their last 4 games, they haven't had a running back that went over, I think 40 or something yards. That includes Saquon Barkley, Dalvin Cook, so on and so forth. So I want to see if I can find it for you guys. Defensive stats. Let's see. Bear with me one second. See if I can find it up. Of course, I can't find it right now. I don't know. I'm not gonna waste time and search for it. But I will say this: they do a good job. Again, they do a much better job against the run than they do against the pass. Their defense, and their offense is very surprising to me. They run they run a unique style. They got two very good running backs in down in Swift and Williams. Kind of a little thunder and lightning thing that they got going. Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's their WR1, but he plays a lot in the slot. He's very good. I mean, he was excellent last year. He's just showing up this year. He's the ball's in his radius and he's catching it. They got rid of their tight end, TJ Hawkinson, but as we know, he was traded to Minnesota. So they utilize a lot of empty backfield, a lot of 11 personnel, a lot of 0-1 personnel with 4 wide receivers split, a lot of formations, very, very similar to what the Jets run. Their offense looks very similar. I'm not going to say it's a Shanahan-esque, it's a Shanahan-based offense. I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but I see a lot of the same principles and a lot of the same route trees and so on and so forth when they run. And Jared Goff is surprisingly, statistically, very good this year. Let me just read this to you, Jeremy. Okay. So far in the year, after 13 games, 65.3 completion percentage, almost 3,400 yards, averaging 7.5 yards per attempt, 22 touchdowns to only 7 interceptions. It's a really good, statistically, it's a really good season he's having so far. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to go over some of the film from the last game, the Minnesota game, which all in all, as I watched, they had a couple, big chunk plays and so on and so forth, but I didn't come out overly impressed. I'll say this much. I don't think that what I saw in one game, being fair, what I saw in one game is anything better or worse than what we've seen from our quarterbacks this year. I would say Mike White is a very good comparison to what I saw Jared Goff play in the Minnesota game. It's a good quarterback. A good quarterback does some things very good and does some things not so well. So that's what I got going. But they are a team who is their coach. They bought into their coach's system.
Yeah.
You know, they are aggressive. They play hard. You can tell they're a very, very similar to the Jets. They're a young, up and coming team, you know, who's trying to learn how to win the games they need to win, you know. And if I'm a Detroit Lions fan, I'm coming into this game thinking, hey, this is a game we can win. This is a game we need. This is a game we can win. You know, as us Jets fans are saying the same exact thing. This is a game that we can win.
Yeah.
And this is one of those games where a good team will, you know, come out on top. Home, you know, pressure's on. Everything's going in the right direction. These are one of the games these are the games that we should win.
Yeah.
You know?
If we're for real, we should win.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Jets Mess says, why did we release Will Parks? I heard it was a non-football related reason, and it's probably a story that's going to come out eventually, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, he missed practice yesterday for a non-football related issue. I don't know what it was. That could mean anything. That could mean, you know, he had, you know, car trouble. That could mean he had a sick family member. That could mean he got in trouble himself, so on and so forth. And then they released him today. So, you know, the grumblings have started. But then I read a little bit more, and this is one of those things that it's one of those roster gymnastics kind of move. But that they're cutting him probably because they have to elevate somebody else from the practice squad, so they need the spot. And they're hoping that he doesn't get claimed tomorrow and he'll revert back to the practice squad and probably be back on the active roster next week. This is one of those things that is just a roster manipulation. Now, you do something like that and you cut him and you risk, you know, there is a risk that somebody else could claim him and he's gone. But they're hoping that doesn't happen. He reverts back to the practice squad tomorrow and he's probably back on the active roster next week.
Okay.
So I see you got a super chat in there. I don't know if you want to address
that.
Yeah,
I want to get to the super chat right here, and that is let's say lost in the sauce. The Jets DST has literally reshaped what Buffalo high-powered offense and altered their trajectory. What are your thoughts on running the Jets DST against the Lions this week?
Excuse me. Well, I mean, I don't think that we haven't shown, or Ulbrich and Saleh haven't shown that they're really feel it necessary or willing to kind of veer off the path of what they are. You know, we get up there and we, you know, get at you with 4. You know, we'll bring a blitz here and there, but, you know, 80 to 85% of the time, you know, we're dropping back in zone and we're doing what we do with, you know, clean, secure defensive backs, especially on the outside with DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner, and getting pressure with the front 4. I don't think we need to, nor do I think that there's any inclination that we're going to veer off of what we do with our defense. And that's just, you know, play our style of defense and make you adjust to it. You know, whereas on the flip side, Detroit, you know, we talked about their overall defensive rank is not that high. Very similar to what I thought Minnesota was. They play a lot. They play a lot of bend and don't break. You know, just hold off. Don't allow the big play. Allow the little chunks instead of the big chunks. Which is you know, which could be a dangerous style of defensive play. You know, you're letting the offense. You're allowing the offense to get into a rhythm. You know,
right?
Our defense is we want to set the tone and we don't want you to get in the rhythm, but we're not going to change the style that we play. You know, yeah, sure. Once in a while, we're going to bring you know, we're going to go man across and bring 6 people on a blitz or something like that. But that's few and far between. What we've done has worked. So I think our coaching staff says, don't change a good thing, right?
Right.
That's what gives us the 4th overall defense, you know, as DVOA puts it. So.
Huh. Okay, I would like to thank Heavy CMC for the very generous super chat, by the way. I just read the question, but I didn't thank him. I really appreciate that. That really helps the channel out. It helps me keep this studio going. And covering costs and things like that. So it's very, very appreciated. Thank you. Very generous of you and nice of you to do that, my friends. So any more questions, please let us know and we'll be happy to answer them, and or just our opinions.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so let us get started. Whenever you want to start, just I'll hit the little share button when you put it up there.
Yep. Yeah, and I think I got let's see. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got about 12, 13 plays to go over. I mean, that's more than enough. I think we'll get a gist of what we're looking at. And let me share. Present. You with me?
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Wife is driving me crazy. Okay, there we go.
Can you see me moving?
Oh yeah, we could see it moving. So
You
that's
see the cursor moving.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, this is the first drive of the game against Minnesota. Detroit's lined up in 11 personnel. They got 1, 2, 3 wide receivers, 1 running back, 1 tight end. They're 3-by-1, so they got 3 to the short side, which is an unusual formation for most, but you'll see why. Minnesota's playing what they do just like what they did against us. Whenever we came out in 11 personnel, they came out in a nickel defense. They got three defensive linemen right here. They got 1, 2, 3 linebackers and the five defensive backs. So they just have their linebackers up just to kind of shy away or kind of maybe confuse the offense, kind of give different looks. It looks like they're blitzing 5, but they're not always blitzing 5. Sometimes they're going to drop 1. Sometimes they're going to, play games, so on and so forth. So we start out, and I'll let this play a little bit. They bring the motion across, and right off the bat, they see a trail here by the defensive back. So they know that it's a nickel, right? I mean, they know that the nickel back's following. They're probably assuming it's man. Right here is the second tell. They showed a 2 deep look to start pre-snap. As he goes in motion, the safety steps up. He's manned up on the tight end right here. So we got man coverage. We got man coverage. We got him following him. We got man coverage here. So they're showing straight 1 deep man across here. They show a little play action, and right away, they play a little game up front, and you'll be able to see it over here a lot better. You watch this linebacker here. He stunts inside. The guard can't really get to him.
Ooh.
And Goff kind of is a little bit slowed by how fast that pressure gets into him, okay? So he's in the back pedal, all right? He has this he tries to hit this little chip and release. That's what the play is. It's supposed to be a little chip and release here. The play, he has no time for the play to develop. And as you see here, this is what I want to see, because this is something I saw a lot in this game. I just want you to watch the footwork of Jared Goff. Okay, so right here, he should be taking 1 quick hop, step, and getting set. He's scanning the field, and the linebacker's already in. So he's just backpedaling. Right. And what's he doing right here? He's throwing this ball right now. He's saying, okay, the only thing I can do is just get it off to this little chip and release running back out of here. But he's throwing it off his back foot. Very similar to, a lot of the issues that Zach had early in the year or even last year when he doesn't get his feet set and he's thrown off that back foot. And what happens? Ball releases high. Now this isn't all necessarily on Jared Goff.
No, I mean, look, he faked that handoff, turned around, and they were on him.
You're absolutely right. Right. But, this is why I'm showing this play. It's something that you see a lot. If you just watch his feet, he's nothing is set. He's drifting back, and floating. Mm-hmm. I saw that same issue probably about 5 or 6 different plays during this whole game. So
wow,
footwork is important. Now, on the contrary, when he has himself set and comfortable, with an NFL pocket and he steps into the throw, he's got a great arm, you know. But the defense, the offensive line, which is like I said, which is a strength of this team, really didn't give him a chance there. You know, kudos to Minnesota. They pulled the stunt off. And there we go. That was 2nd and 11. So the next play, we're 3rd and long. I'm just going to let it go to right here. Next play, 3rd and long. All right. Detroit's in an 0-1 personnel. They got 4 receivers, 1 running back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they got this, they're stacked over here in the slot. I don't know exactly what they're doing. You still got the 3-3-5 here, nickel show by the defense with 2 deep. Again, Minnesota comes with another, they play a game, defensive line, and they stunt this guy in. Now they're in straight man all the way across. Ball gets batted down. I want to run that back again.
Now this is more on him. He had time.
Yeah, there was time on this one. Now we'll let it.
He like even in shotgun. It feels like he still went backwards.
So watch his feet. Happy. So he's got plenty of time. Now maybe it just might be like I said, the pocket's good. It's just the defense is glued to the defenders man to man. No one really gets open, but he's hopping, happy. And by the time he decides to throw, and you can see it here, I'll try to stop it again as he's throwing. Happy. He's hopping. Nothing's open. He's turning. And as he's throwing, he's not stepping into the ball. That's why this hand gets here. He's still a little bit off that back foot. You know, now kudos to 98, the defensive lineman. He didn't get any pressure, and they teach you right off the get-go. If you can't get pressure, get your mitts up. You know, get in the passing lane. Now, I don't know where that ball was going, to be honest with you. I'm going to rewind it back a little bit, and let's see if we can see where that ball was going from the sideline view. See, because you got a little stick route here. That's not open. You got him here. You got another little stick route here. He's glued here.
Yeah.
You got the deep guys covered here. You have this dig route here where the defender stumbles. So the only thing I can think that he's looking at right now is this in-cut route by Amon-Ra St.
Yeah, that's the only thing
which is open.
Right. He'd have to throw it carefully.
Yeah,
right.
Listen,
He could throw it to the inside and low.
He would have had to hit him exactly as he's running. Now, if you just watch right there, right here, boom.
Yeah. I mean, there's that one guy coming, so he would have had to throw it low and not too far ahead.
Yeah. So he had room. He had the play. I don't know if his feet just got a little too happy, or he didn't get into the read quick enough. See, because if you watch him, watch his head, Jeremy. Watch Goff's head. Okay, I'm going to pause it. Stutter, boom. He's open right here. And to me, it looks like he sees him.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if this, Goff's 6'5", so I can't imagine he's having trouble seeing over this line. But look, as he's getting ready to throw, what's he doing? He's falling back. He doesn't step into he doesn't step into that throw. And once you don't have your lower body into your throw, you have to be a really, really strong, ridiculously gifted athlete to put a ball with any sort of oomph behind it on target falling away from your back feet. So this is on Goff. He had an NFL pocket. He had enough time. He had 4 seconds. He was looking, he came off. This receiver here was not his first read, but he read everything else. He read from outside across. He said, I'm here, that's covered. I'm here, that's covered. I think he looked at this guy who fell, and by the time he came across here, this is NFL open. He throws this ball here. Yeah. He gives his wide receiver a chance to get to the sticks. Again, we're 3rd and long. We're 3rd and 12 here, right? So maybe he's thinking, I just don't want to make a mistake, but it doesn't matter because the ball gets batted away. Again, a little indecisiveness by Jared Goff. Kudos to the defense, good coverage. And you can watch him here again. He's outside, in. He's across. By the time he sees it, that ball's, it gets batted, but he was already late on it.
You could see the feet. So now I know what you're talking about there. And it's
Absolutely.
like
Happy feet.
yeah.
You know who was unfortunately had very happy feet?
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold. Exactly. That was like the kiss of death for Sam.
Yeah, he looked like he was doing a tap dance routine every time he played.
Yeah. So I'm just getting us set up to the next play. This is a good play. I'll break it down here. So they're in 12 personnel. All right. So they got 2 tight ends. This is the tight end who's just, lines up kind of as the H-back here. They got a tight set by the wide receivers. They got 1 wide receiver, 2 wide receivers, right? Tight end, running back. And it seems Minnesota, whenever Detroit brings their bigger personnel on the field, Minnesota's taking a defensive back off the field. That's not uncommon. So they're running what they're running here looks like kind of like a 4-3. I'm sorry, I said 4-3. I meant 3-4. So they got their 3 down linemen. They're 4 down linemen. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then they got the linebacker. I can't tell if this is a linebacker here or a defensive back. He's on the corner. Yeah, it's a linebacker. So they were in a 4-3 set. Okay, so a base defense. All right. Really good play. I'm going to play it through. It's a play action, and now I'm going to bring it back. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's play action with a good route concept. All right. He's got a great pocket here. You got a deep dig here, right? And you got a deep post here. Okay. So it looks like this is what's called, and looked to me like an inverted cover 6, where they got half the field. They got half of the field in cover 4 and the other half in cover 2. And it looks like there's just miscommunication here. This safety sees this in cut and route and kind of stiffens up and shortens up to cover it, where he probably should follow him, because this guy here, again, is playing this deep third here. He's in this deep middle. He's in this deep third.
Uh-huh.
But what happens? Both safeties stop for this dig route here, and it leaves Jameson Williams wide open.
Also, you could see, by the way, just mentioning how much more comfortable Goff is in this because there's less pressure.
Yeah,
and
he's still He's
still
wide.
Fancy.
He's still wide open, but exactly, Jeremy. His feet still aren't set. Now, he does have some good throws later. If you ask me, I mean, that's wide open, but it looks like Jamie. He doesn't hit him in stride. He doesn't.
Yeah, it wasn't a great throw. It wasn't a great throw. It was good enough.
I mean, there's no one within 15 yards of him.
Right, but if it's not a broken play like that and someone's covering him, that could be an interception even, right?
Yeah, I think he's got to throw that with a little more oomph. But if you watch his feet, he's still kind of off that back foot. I'm glad you picked up on that. Yeah, that's all the same thing, and that's my notes here. He's still got happy feet.
Yeah,
but you got a little miscommunication here. You got both of these safeties playing this dig. He's playing a deep quarter, and no one's playing that deep middle. So he catches that ball here, right, and there's no one within 15 yards of him, and he has to stop and turn around.
Yeah, it looks like he's stopping and turning to catch that ball. So I'm saying if he's not that wide open, that's problematic, right?
Oh, absolutely. If the safety runs with him, if the safety runs with him, maybe he doesn't even go there. Maybe he goes to this stop dig right here, or he hits this guy at the mark. But I mean, it's a broken play. It's a good concept. They got lucky. The defense screwed up. We can watch it here.
Well, they took advantage of it.
Yeah. Listen, you get big chunk plays. See, he's still off his back foot a little bit. And it seems to be a really repetitive problem here with Jared Goff.
At this point of his career, isn't that surprising? I mean, he's been to a Super Bowl. I mean, has great stats. I mean, he's been in the league for so long now.
I can't say with any certainty. I just don't watch him enough, or have I watched Detroit or the Rams enough to say that this has always been a problem. He just he just could have had happy feet today. And all his passes aren't like that. And I'm going to show you, as we're going to get into it, I'm going to show you why he improved. And I think maybe, his offensive coordinator, I know for a fact just by looking at the play calling and stuff like that happens later on in this game, is they gave him a lot more 1-step, 3-step, quick one read, step and goes. And when he does that, he's like I said, he puts balls in great spots, super tight, super strong throws, accurate, so on and so forth. So I think they got away a little bit later from some of these long developing 7-step drops, so on and so forth. And some of that could have been because Minnesota was playing a lot of games up front with their defensive linemen, spins or twists and stunts from all over the place. So the way to avoid, if you don't want your offensive linemen to get confused up front, when they're stunting and they're twisting two defensive linemen, if you don't want to cause any chaos with the offensive linemen, get the ball and get it out of your hands. So they go to a lot of screens. They go to a lot of wide receiver screens. They go to a lot of 1-step and throw. And we're going to see one right here, actually. I'll show it to you. So here they are. They're lined up. They're in a spread. You have, again, a nickel-based defense where they have an extra defensive back on the line. And this is what I talked about. They want to get 1, 2, 3, get the ball out of his hands. So before you saw how when he gets into 7-step, he gets happy feet. What's the way to rid that? Get the ball out of his hands. 1, 2, 3, one read. He's looking one way and one way only. So this was his own, this was read number 1. He's probably going outside to in, but he didn't even have to make it to the end because the outside was wide open. Does a good job, and he makes the easy look easy, like Robert Saleh talks about. And it's an 8-yard game.
Yeah. I got to say, though, I still am not – am I wrong to say I'm still not in love with his mechanics?
Well, watch him here. This is nice and easy. 1, 2, 3, steps and throws. That's a good ball.
All right. He went right through the – right.
Yeah. If you just watch the difference in his body.
This is a good angle. This is actually a really good angle.
Watch the difference in his body as he's stepping into it as opposed to falling back. Now, that's the difference between a quick 3-step drop, get the ball out of your hands. It doesn't give you enough time to screw up your lower half or your mechanics. You know what I mean?
Yeah, from the other angle, it looked like his legs were spread out too much, but from that angle, it looks like it real smooth.
Yeah.
Like it was,
and that's all it is.
Right
and it's like I said, he's only reading this half of the field. This is his first read. This is his second read. That's where he's going. He's going from outside in. The outside's open, so he doesn't have to do anything else. He doesn't have to do anything else.
But he just recognized right away, I got some easy yardage there. I'm going to grab it.
Yeah, I'm going to show it from the sideline view one more time. And you're right. He takes the easy. It's his first read, and it's open. So my guess is that he's keying on this right here. He's keying on this guy right here. If this guy drops back, then he'll probably move inside to this little sit route that's in the middle here. But this guy rushes. He knows it's going to be open. Boom.
Knows it's going to be open. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to take that because you
Absolutely.
know that, yeah. I mean, that's the trade-off. If I come in, that spot is open. If I don't come in, then I have to look somewhere else.
Yeah, and it's the right play. And listen, you tell me an NFL coordinator that doesn't want to take 8 yards on first down every time.
I would take that every day.
every day and twice on Sundays.
Right, exactly.
So here we are again, lined up. We have we're in 0-1 personnel. We got 4 wide receivers. You got 2, and you got a tight end here as well. Empty backfield, shotgun. Again, a lot of similar sets to what the Jets run. And this shows a little bit of what Jared Goff has outside of the pocket. Okay, so he's reading the defense. Everyone's dropping. He's in zone. And what do we always talk about? What's the one thing you and I always talk about when we're keying up and when we're watching defense? On the ends, somebody has to contain, right?
Right. You have to steal the edge.
So this guy is the end over here, and he's kicking the shit. I don't know what he's doing with this offensive guy is doing, but he just runs off with them. And on the inside, the defensive tackle here kind of gets sucked in, and he just leaves that wide open.
And that was such a mistake from the defender because, what was the benefit of doing that, of pushing forward like out in the middle of nowhere. Like
You
how is
mean
that?
this guy right here? This,
Yeah.
well, this guy's going out. He's technically eligible to go out in a pattern, right? So he's looking. He thinks
Yep, I understand he's eligible to go out in a pattern, but you
Yeah.
have to know that you're leaving the edge open, right?
Well, he's reading that the guy's going to chip and try to release. So the defender, in essence, really does a good job by not letting him release.
Okay.
What happens here, though, is the problem. Like, all right, so he doesn't let this guy release. That's great,
Okay.
and he rides him out. I don't know if you necessarily always want to do that, especially when you're dropped off in a too deep zone with guys right across. Even if he comes out here, you have a defender here, you have a defender here, right? So, but he rides him. He doesn't let him release. This guy gets sucked in.
He's the one making the mistake. He's the one making the mistake. Okay.
Yeah, there's the contain, is that you left this gap.
Like, why are you coming up the center? Why didn't you just hold your lane?
Yeah,
and stay on the hash mark.
Listen, I mean, look at this. This is you can put a Mack truck through there, and he's mobile enough and agile enough that he can make you pay.
I don't think.
And then he gets a couple extra yards here. They threw the flag for the late hit. You can watch it from this side.
Mike White can't do that, can he?
Watch 55. He's up, and he gets sucked in right there. Good job by the offensive lineman. That's Penei Sewell, who's their stud right tackle.
Right. I think Mike White could do that if he had to. I mean, come on. I don't care how slow you are. Look at that hole. Look at that hole.
So he does a good job. He's mobile enough that he can hurt you. I'll say that much about him. All right, we're going to get into this next play here, Jeremy. Different formation. This is 20 personnel. So they're lined up with their 2 running backs. They got their 3 receivers. This is a great pass. This is one of those that I think Jared Goff really threw a beautiful ball. Just not caught by his defender. All right. So he makes the right read. They're in man across. He reads it. He's got this little angle route right here. Boom. I mean, that's a first down any day of the week if the guy makes a catch.
Yeah, the form. Look at the throwing form. Look at the throwing form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's it's better than before, but he's still a little bit off his back foot. But I think he makes a great pass. He makes the right read, great pass. Yeah. Guy's wide open. And
at least he's shifting his weight forward,
Yeah, now he is.
Yeah.
Now he is.
Like his weight is shifting
3, 4,
forward.
5, 6, 7, boom.
You see how you can see
he hits it on the hand, and this guy just hears footsteps. That's completely on 32. Like I said, great. He made a proper read. He's got the matchup that he wants. He's got his fast, shifty running back with fabulous hands manned up against a linebacker. That's a good offensive scheme. A good scheme puts his wide receiver in an advantageous, or running back in this situation, in an advantageous position, and the guy just dropped the ball. What are you going to do?
Did you see how frustrated he was, Goff?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He was frustrated.
Wouldn't you be?
Yeah, if I put the ball in your chest like that, I want you to catch it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, give me a break. We're paying you a lot of money. You're an NFL player. You got to catch it.
Yeah. So next play, this is the end of the play that before we're going to go. Here we go. So here we are. We're in trips to the right, to the wide side, right? You got a tight end. You got your running back aligned on the weak side, and you have your trips here, right? Again, good job. Good pressure up the middle here by Minnesota. Goff does a good job avoiding the sack here. This was a big play. This was the third down, I believe. Does a good job avoiding the sack, gets rid of the ball. Watch the run. See, you got if you see.
He had no check down.
You got
no one to check it to.
You got the trips here, Jeremy. What does trips usually mean?
Levels,
right? Watch the levels routes. If they do them. Yes, here's your short.
Yeah.
Here's your intermediate.
Right.
And there's your long.
Yeah.
And listen, this ball should probably come out here already, but I think he's trying to hit this dig right here. And he just doesn't have the time because if you look, they got beat up the middle again. So he spins, he gets away from it, and he, again, athletic and mobile enough that he can just dump it in the vicinity of this running back and avoid a big sack.
If we can get this kind of pressure on him, which we can, we have. I mean, Minnesota doesn't have a better D line than we do, right? And they're doing stunts and they're getting to him.
That's exactly what they did. If you watch where the pressure comes, watch him right here. See, he stunts inside.
So we need to do that.
Yeah.
Obvious, Captain Obvious here.
Yeah. Well, listen, we do play a lot of games. They definitely saw a weakness in Minnesota. This is all in the first quarter. So
Right.
Minnesota definitely zeroed in on a weakness in the middle of their line, when they play these games and then they stunts, because they ran it time after time after time. And this is why I think I'm praying to God, man. I'm praying that we have Q Williams for this game. I'm even of the belief that if we have Quinn in this game and he can't turn it around in 4 days for Jacksonville, I'd be okay with that. I think it's probably more leaning the other way, that we're not going to see Q this game, but we'll see him in Jacksonville. But I think there's a lot of damage. They got great tackles. But the middle of the line is, if there's any suspect portion of their offensive line, it's the middle. Like, I think that a healthy Quinnen could feast all day long. So we'll show it one more time. Again, concept is always when you have the trips, they're on the levels. He's here. He's covered. He's covered. You're going to need a big arm to get that one there, but he's got no time. He's got no pressure. You can watch it from this side. Watch his footwork. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Stops, hops, and when he's going to kind of wind up and throw, you can see 55 is right up in his face. He stops.
Yeah.
And does a good job spinning, getting rid of the ball. Like, kudos to the guy, man.
Great job to 55, by the way. That was great pursuit.
Oh, absolutely. He had a good game, man. All right, so here we are. Again, pressure, pressure burst pipes, right? And this is what they're showing. They got everyone lined up here. This is, they're what's called double mugging the A-gaps. They have both of their linebackers right up here on shading the inside shoulders, the outside shoulder, I should say, of the center. So Goff doesn't know if both of these guys are coming. He doesn't know if one of them is going to come, the other one's going to drop. He doesn't know if they're both going to drop, so on and so forth. But again, pressure, little confusion pre-snap. He doesn't know what's coming. They both drop off. And he's got happy feet, man. Hopping. And what happens? This is an important play. You can see it from this side here. Right? This is a 4th down play. Watch his feet. Hopping. He's falling back.
Oh.
You
see how they were parallel to each other? Like,
he's open, man. He's open.
Look at his feet right when he throws it.
He's open, yeah. And his body's not set. Right here. He's open. And he sees him, but he's falling backwards again. He's kind of not stepping into it. You see how he's not, his lower half is still kind of not set, not stable enough that he's driving off that back leg. As you see, his legs are kind of parallel. He's kind of just using all arm strength, which is why this is open here. He sees it. He makes the right read, and he's past the sticks. This is a 4th down play. But bad mechanics leads him to throw behind the wide receiver, turnover. Watch it again. Watch his feet again, Jeremy. When he throws, I'm going to try to get it slow.
Oh.
He's just not stepping into the ball. Now,
it looked like he was wanting to throw through, but it was almost like he ran out of room.
Listen, there was a little bit of pressure. No lie. But this, you got to step into this pocket right here. Now, this defender's coming. This defender's back. You got a pocket right here. Right now, he should be on that back foot and kind of hopping forward to drive off this back foot and throw it with some authority right to a spot right here.
Look at his foot right there. That's perfect.
This is, and again, I don't say this in a disrespectful manner, because you know me. I support Zach 100%. But this is some of the mechanical stuff that we saw from him time after time after time in all 21 of his starts. Right? This is a Zach Wilson throw. His feet are off. His feet are off. He's using just his whole arm. And you can see it. He's falling back as he's throwing.
I mean, if we can get him, because Zach is not Goff, he's much younger. If we can get him to throw through and not off, and if we can fix this on him, we know he's accurate. And his arm is great if he just throws through.
But again, there seems to be something that's habitual in this game here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anything 5 steps or more, he gets those happy feet and he doesn't get set, right?
Yeah.
You saw it, right? He's in a 5-step drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He hops, and he's falling backwards.
Awkward, off balance. It looked awful.
Now, before that throw, that first down, when he when he hits his short little out route, on that 3-step drop, what does he do? Not that. You don't give him the chance to start hopping and getting his lower body all off. And you'll see that in the next play that I pull up. What happened?
No, I lost a little connection. I don't know if it's. Okay, there we go. We're good.
Oh, it booted me back, but that's okay. Hang on. I gotta find the play. 2056.
It's just having trouble keeping up with you.
Okay,
there we go.
Here we go. 11 personnel. You got your 2 wide receivers stacked to the wide side. You got your tight end with a wide receiver or an H-back. I can't really tell. That actually might be 21 personnel. I can't see if that's a wide receiver or not. But it's a 2x2 stack. And again, watch Goff here. This is if he's got those happy feet, can't get that that lower half set, get the ball out of your hands quick. Step, throw, boom. Positive yards, first down. They did the same exact play out of different formations probably 5 times this game. Little wide receiver screen. And if you watch him, he's got no problem stepping to this one, right? Step and throw.
Thank you.
He's moving forward. Watch his body. Watch his body. Step, boom. Step. He's pushing off that back foot, ending on his front foot. Exactly what a quarterback should be doing in the NFL.
Huh.
So here's another one. This is a really good pass. This is one of my favorites of the day. It's 11 personnel. You got 1, 2, 3. They're lined up with the tight end to the short side, both wide receivers to the wide side. It's a play action pass. Again, when he has a good pocket, which he does here, he steps into it and throws a beautiful pass. That's not an easy pass. If you look where he is, he's on the far hash, down at the 18, 20-yard line, gets into his front foot and throws it right to a spot on the sideline. That's a great play.
He does that. If he was able to have that kind of mechanics every throw, he'd be amazing.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, that's what makes a good quarterback from a bad quarterback, right? Or a good quarterback from a great quarterback. And Goff statistically is playing very well this year. So I'm not gonna be the guy that sits here and tells you that this is what Jared Goff does all the time. This is what I saw in the Minnesota game. That's all I've watched of it, to be, completely and thoroughly honest. But you just pick up when he's comfortable enough and he's got his lower half moving right, he can make these throws. That's 10, 20 yards from the far hash to the sideline on a rope. That's a great ball.
Yeah.
That's a great ball. No, I mean, you can't really say anything different than that. That's a great pass. So I'm going to move up a play. Again, 11 personnel. Good blitz pickup here in the middle. They end up sending this middle guy here. This is just 3 steps and go. It's good timing. It's a good result. 1, 2, 3, boom. You know, knew what the defense was giving him, saw the blitz, knew that he was going to be in man coverage. 1, 2, 3, boom. You know, good anticipation on the receiver. Nothing crazy. The good positive 7 yards.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 steps, and he's into his throw. I mean, the guy, it's a tale of two quarterbacks here. When his footwork is right, you know, he makes those throws.
I mean, to me, it says, right away as a scout, right? Thinking if I'm the Jets. I mean, it's obvious in any situation, but forgetting about just the obvious, we need to pressure the quarterback. What I'm thinking is we don't want him to be able to step forward comfortably, right? Like, we don't want to leave any pocket space for him to be able to step up. It seems that if we can get in his face or keep him moving backwards, that's where we're going to neutralize him.
Well, ideally, yeah. But, I mean, there's nothing to neutralize, I don't think, on a play like this. I mean, this is just all, you know, this is predetermined based off of seeing this guy creeping here. He's assuming it's a blitz. He knows he's in some sort of man. They're in some sort of man coverage. And he's just an off man. So he's just pre-snap. That's going to be his read. There was no hesitation. There was no scan in the field. It was 3 steps. I'm going to throw it to a spot, and he's going to break right into it. You know? So, you know, could we do that? Because do we play off sometimes on the corners with DJ Reed? Mainly more so with Sauce? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we do. But our scheme is sometimes going to have either a safety creep down here inverted, have a linebacker that comes out and plays, you know, or that plays out in the numbers with Sauce coming down, playing hard in the flat. He might line up off, but play, you know, then come down on you hard. Or they might be pressed up on him, you know. They mix that up as well. So I think this is a good offensive scheme based on, you know, he took what the quarterback was, what the defense was giving him. Nothing crazy, nothing special, good fundamentals. Take what, you know, make the easy look easy. And he does that. He does that at times. So this is the last play that got cut out for you. And I think it's a good one. All right. They're driving here. They've had a good drive. We're now, you know, deep into the game, a little deeper into the game. And they got 5 wide. They're empty, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're in that shotgun. Again, a very good route scheme. They know that they're in man. He reads man as that guy comes up and trails. So that safety comes up. So now he knows they're in 1 deep, man across, right? So what does the route scheme do here? They rub, right?
Oh,
they rub it in. And Jared delivers a good ball on the in route for the first down. Now, just watch the receivers. You know that's in man coverage right here. So he kind of just does that little rub to pick him, distract, get enough contact where he's not going to get flagged, but give his guy enough room to break in, and Jared hits him on the spot. Let's watch Jared Goff here. 1, 2, 3, step and throw. Still a little off his back, not as much as he was earlier in the game. You can watch him good from here, but he makes a good throw for a first down. So he steps into it. It actually looks like he steps on his on the foot or the heel of one of his offensive linemen. So maybe that's why it looked a little funky. But he knows what he's got here. Good pocket. He steps into it, and he just hits. He puts it to where only his guy was going to get it. And that's a first down. They ended up scoring off that play. You know, so not to take. You know, I didn't want to go hours and hours and hours upon the tape, but I think with the good 12 or 13 or 14 plays that we looked at, we see a lot of what they tend. I'm going to stop sharing here. And I'm going to come back to life. We see a lot of what tendencies their offense has. Their offense looks a lot. They run a lot of the same route schemes as we do, right? A lot of stops, a lot of outs, a lot of easy reads. One side of the field one-step reads. I think, we'd like to see it, if we saw Mike White have a game such as that, as Jared Goff had against Minnesota, I think we'd all be ecstatic. Statistically, he had a good game. Fundamentally, he was okay. He had some great throws, but he had a lot of bad ones too. And what I like about it is I think the coaches caught on to some of that stuff, because they got away from those deep 5-7, long drawn out, long developing play action passes and got into 1-2-3, 1-2-3, 1-2-3.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I see him as like a guy who he like obviously is so different than like a Josh Allen or a Lamar or anyone like that, because with him, with them, you could pressure them, but if you don't steal the edge, it's very easy to get burned really bad. Where with him, with Goff, it seems that if we pressure him, we're going to be in good shape. Well, you know what I mean? Because he's not a good enough athlete that he's going to get around or go anywhere.
yeah.
So it's almost like it's not just the sacks. It's like we just want to make sure that when he's passing, he's not comfortable and he's the version of Goff that's off balance.
Listen,
with happy feet and bad mechanics.
That's
and
right.
not the Goff that's comfortable, that's going to throw through and make, and have the opportunity to use good mechanics.
Now, and I'm not one to kind of harp on some of the more obvious statistical numbers with Jared Goff, but historically, his whole career, not just this year, he is historically awful in cold weather football.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's any credence to that, but he's a dome guy. They were playing in the dome there, and he still was off. So I think our defense, if we can really create pressure up front, the rest of our their wide receiver core is good. DJ Chark's good. He's a deep threat. He's not going to kill you much. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a great wide receiver, but he does most of his damage from the slot. I think we're gonna need Michael Carter the second and our linebackers to really have good days to really neutralize Amon-Ra St. Brown. And then their other receiver, they flip flop between a bunch of guys that are just Jags, nothing crazy.
I really think that what we need this game. We're not going to come relaxed. There's no trap. There's no feeling of overconfidence. We're hungry. We need it badly. I think that our defense they're the grown-ups of the team.
Yeah.
Like our defensive line are grown men. Even the rookies, because you look at guys like Clemens and JJ, these are grown men.
Yeah.
And I think that they are going to come hungry and angry. And they're going to, and they're going to, I really believe it. I believe that. I know Detroit has a good offensive line, if anything, I'd be worried we over pursue and they beat us on the run a little bit and break some runs. But I think we're going to make Goff very uncomfortable.
I think this game is going to, I think the defensive side of this game is going to really balance on how well our linebackers play. We've had days where our linebackers are awesome. Quan Alexander and Quincy and CJ are excellent. And then we've had days where we've seen them play awful, right? Mm-hmm. Detroit attacks you two ways. They attack that soft, short, intermediate, middle of the field, and they attack you on screens, both to the halfbacks and to the wide receivers on both sides. Both of which play concepts are dependent that our linebackers are here to play. Right. So I think that's going to be a big key to our defensive day is what kind of day are we getting from our linebackers?
Yeah, and we've seen that before when our linebackers are on and playing really well. Then we don't even give up the short stuff. So it's not like even a bend no break. We just 1, 2, 3 out.
Yeah,
we're just making them punt, getting the ball back every time. Pushing them backwards even.
Yeah. I don't expect Detroit's game plan to come out and test us long. They're not going to test DJ Reed. They're not going to test Sauce Gardner. I think they're going to try to get those small little chunks, those little 5-yard little turnaround sit routes or hooks, or they run a lot of short digs and crosses across the middle. All that stuff that's going to be relying upon our linebackers being, having their A game. Not to mention the swing, the screen games that they showed. They ran 5 wide receiver screens, all from different sets.
It's amazing that it feels like we had a very big turnaround in our defense of the screen. It doesn't feel like it's an issue this year. What happened? What are we doing differently?
You know what? I don't know. I think Cleveland really used it and abused us with it. I don't remember, I can't remember anything off the top of my head. I just think, the big difference is that we got better defensive players than we had last year.
Yeah.
You got guys you just got different guys playing at a different level. Brent Eccles out this week. It's going to hurt, especially with Michael Carter still kind of gimpy on that ankle. He's got to stay healthy, because I don't know what our option is at slot cornerback if Michael Carter goes out. It's not Bryce Hall, I'll say that much.
LaMarcus Joyner?
Maybe Tony Adams. Tony Adams played slot in college a little bit. Yeah, I don't know, man. Good question. So I'm confident. I like our chances. And I really, really do expect that this is the game where our offense, our play calling, and our offense is kind of just in tune, right? We saw it in Chicago, how everything just worked. I have a feeling we're going to have another one of those offensive days.
I do too. I have a good feeling that we're going to have good long drives. We're going to see a lot of Mike White spreading the ball around.
Yeah.
We're going to, the thing what I like about our offense now that's different than the past, even with the struggles we've had at quarterback, is if you get these guys the ball enough times, something good's going to happen.
Yep.
Yep, and we see that with Garrett Wilson. We see that with Elijah Moore. If you get them the ball enough times, they're going to break one.
Mm-hmm. And Detroit is very susceptible on the back end of their defense. Jeff Okudah he's played pretty good ball this year, but he does most of his work from the slot. Their outside corners, and even more so, their safeties are, they've been less than stellar, to say the least. But it will be a homecoming for Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn's the defensive coordinator.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a homecoming for Salah. For Salah.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a Detroit guy. So
for people asking what I'm eating Greek food.
Again?
Yeah, we love the place. It's quality, but I got chicken gyro with pita bread, and they're French fries. They call them fries, but they're like these real Greek potatoes. And everything has like the spice to it, like it's real.
Yeah.
Like it's not just Greek food, like where it looks like Greek food. Like you eat the potato, you taste the spice. You eat the chicken, you taste the spice. Like look at the potato. See how seasoned it is. So anyway, is anybody got any questions? Let me look, and the only questions I see is what are you eating? So let me see if we missed any. So this is I think when you were talking about similarities between Mike White and Goff, he's fast reading plays, right? Like already eliminates half the field even before he snaps it. Sometimes knows exactly where to look, makes very decisive, quick decisions. Like he'll look and then look away to the next option really fast.
Yeah, he gets through his progressions very pretty well. I think he's what I've taken from the little bit I've watched on Goff, and this has to be the fact that he's a seasoned vet at this point, is he can pick up a lot of things pre-snap. He knows what, he's just, for instance, that one little quick pass that he did where he's reading what that linebacker's doing. If he's coming, he knows that this little out's going to be open, so he's there. If he's not, then he's got to get off into a second read. So I really, I think he's a savvy, veteran who is not going to lose you a game. He's going to manage it very well. And sometimes he'll have those days where he throws for 330 and he'll throw for 330 and 3 touchdowns. But so can Mike White. So can Mike White.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the reasons, and this is what we hope Zach learns if he does get another chance, is that he doesn't have to get the yardage with his arm himself.
Yeah.
He just has to get the ball to the players and not even think about it because they will get you the yardage.
Yeah, I think. Listen, I think having Zach as the backup this week, I think it's a great. I think it's a great idea. I'm happy they're doing it. I don't want to see Joe Flacco there anymore. And maybe, just maybe, that he's, like whatever he needed to learn, whether it was like a reset in his mechanics or if it was a mental reset, like, hey, listen, you lost the locker room, take a step back. Let's kind of rebuild some of that stuff.
Yeah.
But them elevating Zach, I think, shows that some of that's coming back. Maybe a combination of the both.
Yeah. Yeah. I see some questions about, I mean, I agree with Kelly on this. I mean, theoretically, we should be able to hold them much better than Minnesota did. And I think I'm not saying Detroit's offense is not good and they don't have weapons, but I think part of their production is the division they play in, their schedule, who they play. They don't seem to be playing the defenses we play. Like, do they go through Denver and New England just has our number with Belichick. So there's something to that. But like, we play Buffalo twice. We had to play Denver, Green Bay. I mean, we do play a lot of we play Baltimore, Cleveland before they lost their soul. I mean, for this year, I mean, like, it just seems that we play really good defenses, and I think defense beats offense. So I think that Detroit, even though their numbers look inflated or high, I just think our defensive line is going to put lots of pressure on Goff. We're going to get you say tale of two stories. I mean, I think we're going to get I just feel it. We're going to get the bad Goff because it's cold out. And I believe it 100%. Everyone assumes they're professionals. Who cares? They're human beings. And there are some people, myself included, that get very affected by outside things.
Yeah.
So if you give me 100-degree day or you give me a 0-degree day, it affects me. And I don't care if I train my whole life. It affects me. So I honestly believe there might be something to it. It affects him. He's used to playing where it's LA. He's played for the Rams. He's played in a dome. He's 90% of his games, 85% of his games, it's comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he played warm weather in college as well. But
right.
I digress. So Detroit so far this year, Detroit as a team, they've scored 349 points and they've let up 347 points. So they're by far in their division in the NFC North. They're head and shoulders above anyone else scoring points, and only Chicago. They've let up more points than Chicago. So the question is, what I don't know. Let's look, see if we can follow it a little bit. What have they done against common opponents? Right. So they lost. They lost their first game to Minnesota 28-24. They lost 48-45 to Seattle, which we will play. They lost 29-0 to New England. They lost 31-27 to Miami, where Goff had 321 yards. They beat Green Bay 15-9, and Green Bay, good defense, held Goff to 137 yards passing that day.
We were much better against Green Bay than they were, though.
I don't remember what our Green Bay score was.
Wasn't it 27-10 or something?
I don't remember.
I think we beat Green Bay like
15-9. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Chicago. They beat Chicago 31-30. And Goff threw for 236. They lost to Buffalo 28-25. Goff threw for 240. They blew out Jacksonville, where Goff threw for 340. And they beat Minnesota, where Goff threw for last game, where Goff threw for 330. Yeah. So let's see stats. Can I pull up any? Listen, it's gonna be an interesting game. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be. I think it has the ability to be closer than what we think. I just don't think this is the same old Detroit that we're accustomed to. You know, and we're not the same old Jets that people are accustomed to. So
Right.
you know, it's going to be a game of who really wants who steps up and who wants to do it. And I think it's going to be one of those games where you're going to see a lot of important. There's going to be plays that make a difference. So if we can win the turnover battle, it's going to make the difference. We're gonna, I think we're going to be able to move the ball against their defense. They're going to probably move the ball against our defense. I don't think they're going to overpower us, but we're not going to. I don't see us holding Jared Goff to 125 yards on 30% passing when he's done nothing but throwing the ball 60 to 70% completion percentage all year long.
And we give space, so he's going to have a good completion percentage.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think the big key for us is how our linebackers play, man.
Right.
How our linebackers play.
Yeah. I mean, lately, here's a big problem for the team lately in our defense. Maybe it was one game and I'm overreacting. Maybe it was 2 games. It feels like recently, when the other team gets into the red zone, we don't hold them to field goals recently. It seems like they score touchdowns. That's a problem. That's a problem.
Absolutely. And when we're in the red zone, we're not scoring those touchdowns.
Right.
But I don't think that's like going to be something that's systemic or that we see repetitive through the whole season. I just think sometimes that happens, and I think we're a good enough team where we're going to come through that. Mike LaFleur is going to figure it out, and he's going to start calling different plays that don't include 7 wide receivers, an empty backfield, and the annexation of Puerto Rico. When you have 3.5 feet to go. So,
I think this is a funny comment because it's true. And there's something about comedy that's when there's truth in it, it makes it funnier. So he says, guys, it will be a warm day in New York before we see Strevell play again.
yeah, probably July or August.
It's so true. It's so funny because it's so true.
Yeah.
I mean, it really will happen. We're going to see him play again, and it will be a warm day in New York when it happens.
Oh, man.
What's his contract situation? I don't see him listed as free agent. We definitely have the rights to Streveler. Is it like a restricted kind of rights? Like restricted?
I don't know. I'll check it though. That's easy.
I'm guessing it's like because we put him on the practice squad and left him exposed. So I'm guessing it's a restricted kind of thing. Comp pick like it was with Mike White last year.
Let's see. Oof. Streveler. That's weird. Chris Streveler. Here he is. Let's see. Yes, he is under contract for 2022 for a big cap number of $245,000. He will be a free agent after this year. So listen, at 27 years old, Chris Streveler might have seen his last days as a New York Jet. They can bring it back as a camp body, but I don't see much more coming out of him.
I feel like they made a move to protect him that 1 week. Remember that week they elevated him?
Yes.
Do you think it was right because it was right before the trade line and they were just protecting him?
No, I think it was they were trying to do a little bit of, mental manipulation. Like, who are we going to play? We're going to have a package for Strebler. Is he going to, what, blah, blah, blah. Make him kind of think, I think that was the Patriots game, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
So we got to have some gamemanship to throw back at them.
Correct.
Since they always do it to us.
Correct.
Silly.
So Chris Strebler came into the league. I didn't know this. He was an undrafted free agent, signed with the Cardinals. His first contract was $1.8 million. Then that was terminated.
They gave him $1.8 million?
For over 3 years, yeah.
Oh, okay. Was that before Canada or?
It doesn't. 2020. So there's no guaranteed money in it. He earned $600,000, so he played 1 year of that contract. Nothing was guaranteed, and they cut him. That was 2020. He was signed to the Ravens practice squad, and that expired. He ran a couple games on the Ravens practice squad. In 2022, he was brought onto the Dolphins.
Really?
Yeah, and didn't last long there. Before he was brought in to the Jets, he was active in 20. And then he was cut in at the last cuts. Then he was brought back on the practice squad. Then he was elevated from the practice squad. So there's not much history here for Chris Strebler, and the reality is it's probably not going to be much more Jet history of Chris Strebler.
It's funny because there was multiple times where teams could have signed him. Any other team could have taken him if they wanted him.
Yeah, what does that tell you about the kid? What does that tell you about the kid? 27-year-old journeyman with a weak arm, but a lot of moxie is the guy you want on your practice squad. So, anywho,
you just destroyed Tony Alexia or whatever.
What did I?
No, I mean it's his favorite player in the world. So
I'm sorry, bud. I'm sorry, bud.
He's been gone for a while. Here he is.
Let's talk mock drafts. No Strebler, no hope. Cute.
So what he's saying here is, if we don't play Strebler, we have no hope. We have no hope to make the playoffs.
Now I don't know him. I haven't seen him around. Is that his shtick, or does he really believe that?
There's a couple of other ridiculous things that he says, but 95% of his chats are, "Get Strebler in there, dum dum." He likes to say "dum dum" a lot. Like he calls us all "dum dum." So,
might have a point.
So, thanks, man. That was great. Look, that was great. I feel like I know a lot more about golf now. I feel like I'm smarter.
When you watch the game on Sunday, go in there with that mindset when they're on offense. See what the play is. See how it develops. Is it long? Is it a 5-7 step drop? And watch his mechanics. If he throws a gem when they replay it, watch what he does. And when he's off, see if his lower half is off. That's what I got from him. There was 2 quarterbacks that we saw play that Minnesota game. So yeah, I hope we see the worst one. That's for sure.
Sure, and I think part of it though, like from what you were showing, is you can kind of manipulate which one you get based on how you play. Like if you get to him, if you close up the space, you'll get the bad version of him because he's not able to throw off balance. Or if you give him plenty of space and he's comfortable, then he's able to follow through and make good throws.
Listen, you either got to put pressure in his face to kind of give him happy feet, or you got to have rock solid coverage on the back end and not have him get through his progressions, boom, 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 and not have anywhere to throw it.
Right.
That's obviously that's ideal. That's how you want to play defense, duh. But
well, that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen a lot when you got guys named Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed back there.
Amen. So
Where are you going to be? What you're going to be on the live stream Sunday?
Yeah, so I'll be live stream with Green Bean. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not going. I've decided that I'm not going to the game. I just go. We got too much going on this weekend, and we actually for Sunday night we got a sitter. So my wife and I are going to go out to dinner. So I'm not going to go to the game, and so I will be in and around and probably hopping in the chat, talk with you guys, and so on and so forth. So if I don't talk to you before then, which I probably won't. Go Jets, man.
Go Jets. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Dom, say anything you want to say about I know, do you have any articles coming out?
I do. Probably won't be posted out until next week, but I will say that I have, dove long and hard, and I'm working on a draft guide, a 2023 draft guide that will be highlighting, roughly about 250, 300 prospects to put out, that come out for the draft. And there's a very, very decent possibility that I will be at the Senior Bowl this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to do some content at the end of the year.
Absolutely.
Because I know you have a whole catalog of players, and we could do some mock drafts. But more importantly than the mock draft, what I like better, the mock draft is just setting up the stage to talk about players. Like we run through it because it gives us it's a little bit realistic of who's not going to be there, right? If we pick 20th, then obviously the top 5 to 10 guys are not going to be there, so we don't have to talk about them much. It doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to the number 20 spot, there'll be a few players there that we can talk about because there'll be guys that we might, be looking at. So I think it'll be a lot of fun because everyone's going to have the opportunity to know more about the players that we might draft before the draft. And on draft day, it's really more exciting because when we announce who we're picking, we're all going to know a lot of the players and know who it is.
Yeah. So our Sunday show will be back on after the season, and we'll dive into a bunch of stuff. We'll do some mocks. We'll break down some college film. We'll talk about a lot of these guys.
Sounds good.
Sounds great. Man.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. So everybody, I want to thank everyone who's here. Thank you for watching. Again, Dom, thanks for the great breakdown. Again, you made me smarter today. I know it's a lookout for Sunday, and I will definitely keep my eyes open for some of the things that we went over.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, it'll be cool. And I'm also going to take that perspective and look at Mike White. I'm going to look at his mechanics. I'm going to look at his feet. I mean, every time, it's like come out knowing a little bit more of things to look for in a quarterback to be able to evaluate how they're playing. And what their also what their limitations are, because if they have happy feet, to me that's a big red flag.
Or it's something that you need to get under wraps real quick. Yeah. The reality is that guys who have happy feet like that don't have longevity at quarterback in the NFL, right?
Right.
So they either have it, it's a hiccup, they fix it and they move on, or they're not in the league.
Yeah. So. All right, everybody. Well, thanks again, Dom. Take care, everybody. Peace out. Everybody be good. See you on Sunday. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a great game. Go Jets. We are live. We got Harry W. We got Richie from Jets Media. Matt O'Leary. Iowa Jets fan. We're in the house. We got Dom C in the house. We got Steve, live CEO of the Jet Lounge. So I knew I'd get rich on my channel. See what's going on. Yeah, there we go.
Jets by 1 million today.
Yeah.